are back on the next video here, diving into regulatory compliance on how to make your supplements properly. All right, so let's say hi to our friend ChatGPT. You ready to get back to manufacturing supplements? Let's see what he has to say today. Yeah. All right. How can you assist? Well, what is FDA CFR 111 and its sections? Okay, so like we discussed previously a little bit on the last video, CFR 111 is the breakdown for good manufacturing practices within the supplement industry. So this is a piggyback on Title 21, diving in directly here for dietary supplements to ensure the quality, safety, and proper labeling of supplements. This is the big part here where I think most people get lost is, why does it really matter? If I can take this product and I can mix it up in a Vitamix, or I can mix it up in my bathtub, whatever the case is, it doesn't hurt anybody. People have taken it. What's the problem? You have no documentation to say that you didn't. You have no documentation to say that what you say in that product is in that product at all. You have no controls on whether the next time you make it, you don't introduce something new, something accidentally was put in there, or that it was not made in some dirty, funky, you're not in some trap house that they're cooking meth right next to you're putting pre-workout in there. You have no way of knowing whether this is an adulterated substance or not. So we must make sure that we have the proper documentation, we have systems in place to ensure the quality and safety and repeatability. You're going to hear me say that throughout some of these videos. When it comes to manufacturing, having a process that is robust enough to ensure efficiency and repeatability becomes the goal. Because we want to make sure every time we go through this, each of the products that comes out the other end of the assembly line is exactly like the others that came before it. So quick breakdown here. You have your overall requirements for the scope of 111, what's required of the personnel, the facility that you're at, the equipment, process controls, production controls, holding, distributing, records, and having a plan for returned supplements. So there's a lot to nail down here. Let's hop over real quick, and you can see that each one of these sections dives into, okay, what sanitation requirements for the grounds, for the equipment, quality control procedures. So we will dive a little bit further into this later, but now you guys have an overall viewpoint of what CFR 111 is really trying to accomplish and why this is so necessary. So let's see if ChatGPT can give us a head start here and go, what documents are required per CFR 111? Okay, all right, great. This is great stuff here. So slow down there, ChatGPT. We need a master manufacturing record, which is the comprehensive document with all the specs from start to finish for that document. You need your batch production record, which this is the specifics for how you made that specific lot of that product. Okay, you need a quality control release. We have to have written documentation and standard operating procedures. That way we have laid out exactly what we're supposed to do. We have a process for repeating those steps over and over again. We also have to qualify and verify the components that make the finished product, and we have to have specifications for ensuring that the finished product is exactly what we want it to be. We have to maintain a bunch of records here. One thing here was write me a template for a master manufacturing record. Right. Put this template in a form I can copy easily. Bam. I want this thing finished here. Copy. And we paste it in here. So let's step through it real quick. We have our product name, version. Here's our formula that we can add in, manufacturing process, the equipment that we were going to use, any kind of in-process and final product testing, packaging and labeling, storage conditions, distribution controls, record keeping. So here's our batch production record, and then the retention, and you have to have approval signatures. All right, so all right, let's create a new one, new document, because I'll write a batch production record in a similar fashion. Go. And once again, guys, these will be the basis for our documentation. We are going to have to go through step by step and make these exactly what we need them to be, but this will give you a complete starting point. Now let's step in here. Very similar to the MMR, but what I see that we definitely need to put in here is witness points, step-by-step instructions. We will reference standard operating procedures most likely, but key part here also is we have to put the lot numbers and expiration dates for the inputs. All right, so 2 of these knocked in, and try to get a template for standard operating procedures. So first, let's ask it what standard operating procedures are required per CFR 111. And guys, I've already done a review of CFR 111 from top to bottom. I've got notes written down there that as we dig in, we will be able to comply and provide a much more in-depth for each of these spots. But quickly, we can see training, quality control, cleaning and sanitization, calibration, raw material control, process controls, batch record documentations, labeling and packaging, handling, storage, returned goods, document control, record retention, and MMR approvals, and more quality control with internal audits. So the big thing here that you guys probably don't understand is how critical personnel training and qualifications come to be. And so we are saying here that not only has this person done it, we have shown them and trained them the proper way to do these things. They're aware of the procedures that we have. They have been accepted and done a acceptable job to understand and be able to complete these tasks. We have to have some kind of quality control to ensure that the product is not adulterated from front to back, and cleaning and calibrating the equipment. So every time that you introduce a supplement onto a piece of equipment or onto a workstation, it must be presented in a certain way that the workstation was clean without any germs or adulterating contaminants on the surface. Also, as well as after, you need to clean the area and make sure that it is sanitized and ready to go for the next batch. Raw material control. So as you get a product in, it is required that the product be quarantined before it can be used. You have to verify and qualify any new materials and new suppliers. So we'll dig in a little bit further here. I know you guys are probably tired of listening to me ramble on. So let's see. We'll write a template for standard operating procedures according to CFR 111. Now, this looks pretty good so far. So we have our title, version control, and effective date with approvals are key when we're talking about any kind of procedure, because we need to verify that in the process which iteration of this procedure was being used, and if we have found any problems or updated any of our processes, that this version control and dating becomes critical in case we say, hey, you know what, something happened on this one, we've implemented a new process and changed it moving forward. If everybody, or if anybody was to ever come back through our process, they would understand why we're doing things different. Okay, so what the goal of, who's responsible, and then outlining different parts here. So I feel like we will definitely have to make some changes in here, but this could be a good start. We will go ahead and put this in a format to copy. And I will copy this over to go ahead and keep this going. We also create a template training matrix for personnel training records to include sanitization, production, quality control, and packaging. Make this matrix for 5 people and tab delimited for Excel in a format to copy to accept. So, bam, here we go. It really didn't understand exactly what I needed. There we go, that's better. That was better. So you can see here that we've got the personnel name and dates for them to have been trained. There we go. Now we have our training matrix. Okay guys, so what we've learned so far is that in Title 21 you have sections 101 that handle the dietary and food labeling requirements. Moving on to CFR 111, we understand now that, hey, we have to have certain documentation, we have to have training records, standard operating procedures. So we've got a couple templates here. We're going to move those off to the side, and we will move on to maybe something slightly more interesting for you guys, and we will come back to this here in the future.